Mariela from the Functional Company. All right, today I want to give you some additional information regarding anxiety because there's actually something that's very important to understand as it relates to the body. Because we know with anxiety that there could be a mental situation going on that might need to get addressed. But really, from my point of view, what I like to do is just handle the body because it's tangible. It's something that I can directly affect. It's very straightforward. So I want to just calm the waters, and I cannot tell you how many times anxiety has been handled simply by handling the body. So I want to clear up all first. That's what I would do for myself, and this is the information I'm going to share with you. All right. So when we're talking about anxiety as it relates to the body, what I want to share has to do with something called lactic acidosis. And lactic acidosis is, you can look up Dr. Darren Schmidt, who talks a lot more about this as the mechanism for chronic disease. But what's interesting about this is that it's a condition where there's a low amount of oxygen in the blood and there's a high degree of toxins in the blood. And that combination of not enough oxygen and too many toxins that are roaming around in the blood creates this lactic acidosis. So what happens with lactic acidosis is that oftentimes people can have different types of symptoms. Like they'll have chest constriction, some people get tightening of the back muscles, thoughts that are more like fear related or anxiety, kind of chest pain, these kinds of things. It can vary a little bit, but it's all of these sorts of a combination of these symptoms that could indicate, not always, but it could indicate this thing of lactic acidosis, not enough oxygen, too many toxins. So what causes this? One is intoxication, too many toxins for a certain reason. Another thing it can cause this situation to occur is that there's too many carbohydrates that are roaming around in the blood, and basically the cell, as a byproduct of digesting the sugar, releases certain toxins into the blood, and that stuff has to get cleaned out. But if we do that too much, we don't get enough oxygen supply, then proportionally there are too many toxins that are circulating in the blood. That's one thing. Another thing is that sometimes being exposed to mold is one of these hidden things that causes a lot of stress on the body, because the mold also has, as people inhale it from their house, like a moldy house, or in their workplace, if you have a moldy workplace and you're inhaling that, over time you can get sick often. But one of the things that happens is that you'll have the mold in your body and it'll start to produce more toxins in the blood. You have this toxic blood and you have relatively much less oxygen. So one of the great ways to just push oxygen into the body is through a hyperbaric chamber. Hyperbaric chamber is pressurized oxygen that goes into the body. You can look that up. I think it's a fantastic tool because often people do many sessions, like maybe at least 10 to 40 sessions. They call them daily dives, where you do about an hour a day or so. And what it's doing is increasing the oxygen supply. So when you do that with the body will naturally handle all of the toxins that are going on in the blood. And it just helps to open up the system, helps the body to detoxify all of the toxins that have accumulated in the body. Of course, a really good detox could also do the trick. It's just, not all detoxes are created equal, so you really want to do your homework when it comes to a detoxification process and make sure that you're going with somebody who really understands how the body works, how the organs work, how the cells work, and how to really guide you through the entire process, and has a good program in order to do so. So with anxiety, in the last episode I talked about these different tips that are food related, and it's a very important, and that's a basic place I would start. But if it doesn't clear up, then I'd start to think of a few things. I'd be like, okay, have I been exposed to mold? Do I need to do a detox? Or could there be a hidden infection? That could also be the case, maybe in the mouth or in some other area of the body. This is just sort of the detective work that I would do when it came to anxiety as it relates to the body, because it's a very interesting thing. This mechanism of chronic disease, which is called lactic acidosis, is a buildup of toxins in the blood, and relatively not enough oxygen creates a constriction of the muscles. It doesn't allow them to relax. It doesn't give them enough oxygen supply. So that tightening, that tenseness, the palpitations, the chest pain, all of these things, locked up muscles, people kind of you know, confuse that with anxiety that's like from a mental state, you know? So like I said, I just like to clear these things up physically, and then whatever doesn't clear up, now we can actually address the mind, right? And of course, with the mind, I also personally prefer to stay away from medications, hard medications. I do really want to get to the bottom of that and figure out how to handle that situation once and for all. But you know, in natural health, we really want to start with the body. There's a lot that we can do, and so that's what I want to mention today. So look up Dr. Darren Schmidt, lactic acidosis, anxiety, these kinds of things. He has great, impressive and incredible information if you want to understand more about it. All right, thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you on the flip side.